Hello again, Andrea with I Dream of Crafting. Today I'm going to do a time-lapse painting. It's going to be relatively simple, but it's going to give me a chance to A, practice my letters, and B, show you how to cut out letters from duct tape. So, I'm dedicating this picture to Halestorm, one of my favorite rock bands of pretty much all time. I listen to her music quite often. So for this duct tape painting, I'm going to be cutting out the Halestorm, I don't know, logo, I guess, and I'm going to be cutting out their symbol and putting it on this 8x10 sheet. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to cover this whole thing in black, cut the letters out in white, the symbol being red, and then I'm going to put the symbol below it, just like that. So, we're going to see how this turns out. I hope it's as awesome as I'm thinking it's going to be. So, the supplies you will need for a duct tape painting are canvas or poster board. You can do. Just cut out your own poster board, which is probably cheaper. I just like the feel of canvas. It's obviously sturdier. Cardstock and poster board will be flimsy on you. I've done it on poster board. In fact, my Star Trek one is on poster board. I just like canvas a little bit better. You're going to need whatever you're going to be cutting out. You're going to need a cutting board, maybe a ruler, obviously your duct tape and your clear tape. Like I said, for this one we're going to be using white, black, and red. And the clear tape is to hold down your pattern, and a very sharp X-Acto knife. It'll make your life so much easier. Because if your knife is dull, you're going to cut through the tape and the paper, and you're not going to reach the duct tape. Or you're not going to cut all the way through the duct tape, and then you're going to be cutting it out pretty much again to get it to release. So, very sharp X-Acto knife. And I think that is it. So let's get started. So I pre-cut all my background strips. They're probably 11 to 12 inches because I wanted to overlap them on the back just to secure them. And I'm gonna overlap these as thin as possible, even less than 1/4 of an inch. So that they don't conflict with the image that I'm going to place on top of them. So this is just, the beginning step of anything, any duct tape painting. Even if there's a white background, you still want to put duct tape down, just so you don't have raw canvas anywhere. It just wouldn't look or feel right. Because unlike an actual painting with paint, you can actually touch this, and it, if you layer it and do a puzzle-like design, it would actually feel really cool. So, and I go for tactile because my cousin is 100% blind, so I'm used to doing things that can be touched so that she can enjoy them as well. So here is the Halestorm logo. I was really surprised that the letters fit on a strip of 1.88 inch duct tape. I was actually surprised. I thought I would need 2 strips. But here I'm cutting out the H, just figuring out what I want to do. So I'm gonna rip this up first to see how it comes out, because that does have a black border on it, but since my background is black, I didn't want to put a black border on it. That seemed pretty silly. So I wrestled with this for about 15 minutes, and I cut it out of the video because I didn't want to just have it, you sitting there watching me sit at my desk trying to think. So I'm going to skip ahead right there, and I just figured to go along with what I was doing. So I screwed up the A a bit. You'll see I cut all the way around the letter first, and then after I cut the whole thing, I realized that I never cut out the details. So I had to kind of hold the letter steady while I cut out the details. So learn from my mistake. And if you're doing letters, always do your details first. So you know, like those E's, you know, do your spaces first before you do that long piece right there to get rid of it. The S's are always hard to do. I hate S's so much, just because of all the curves. And I was doing really good, except for when I got to this part, and I kind of lost my groove, but I got it back. So there's the S. It wasn't too bad this time, but I just hate S's so bad. T's are awesome. I love T's. They're so easy. And of course I'm gonna do that O as it's supposed to be in a different color, so we're gonna skip over that. The R was really easy. Just remember to do the that little space in the middle first, and then your M, cut out those really thin pieces. I couldn't believe how thin they were, and that's gonna give me a problem when I try and put it on the canvas. I worked with it though. I got it. I conquered. So just ripping that up. I had a lot of excess, about 2 inches excess, because I didn't measure, but that's okay. So here I go. I'm gonna rip all this up, trimming where I need to. Thanks to my sharp X-Acto knife, I didn't have to trim too much. I'm just using the tip of the X-Acto knife to help me get the tape, especially those fine details out of there, out of the A and the R. So the S gave me a little bit of a problem, but that was to be expected, all those curves. And I screwed up the E somehow, but I fixed it. It wasn't too bad. Now onto the S. There we go. And the T, which is easy. Now the R. And the beginning of the M you can almost see there. There we go. Take those little tiny pieces out. Probably should have thinned those down, but that's alright. So I'm going to replace my template here so I can get it somewhat straight, which it almost worked. The R and the M at the end kind of get a little messed up, but I still like it. Like I said in the, like I'm going to say at the end of this video, I think I'm going to redo this somehow. Bulk up the letters a bit to make them look a little better, but it's still a really cool picture. So I'm just placing the letters here, trying to get them as straight as possible. Like I said, I love Halestorm. I got introduced to them through iHeartRadio about a year ago, and I just absolutely love it. Some of my favorite songs are Daughters of Darkness, Ms. Hyde, Innocence, and Love Bites. Those are, yeah, I could listen to those songs all day and not get sick of them. So those are some of my favorite songs from Halestorm. So just ripping this up here. The R gave me some problems, which was weird, but I got it. There we go. And here comes the M. This gave me more problems than I was expecting, just because of those little legs flopping everywhere. It just would not stay apart. I almost cut it there, but I'm like, no, I can get it. So, there we go. That's all on. You can see the M is kind of wonky, but yeah, I may just fix the M. But here I am, I'm cutting out their logo, so I can cut that out and add it to it. The logos really make the picture pop, and it really brings all those letters together. So I needed more tape because I had cut too much off, so I just take some clear tape. And these are going to be 4 separate parts. because that's how it is in the picture anyway. They're 4 separate parts. I know it's kind of hard to see from this angle, but there are spaces in between these elements, so I cut them all out separate, and then I just put them back together using the template, just like a puzzle. So I'm centering it, and then I'm pulling it up. Looks pretty cool. And then carefully pulling this up because of those thin little edges. The bigger one that I do in a few seconds here was so much easier. I like doing big paintings. I don't have to worry about things breaking as much. So there's the last one. If you have any requests, please let me know. While I was doing this, I was also checking Facebook and stuff, and I noticed that Robin Williams passed away tonight, and it's just very, very sad. He was one of my favorite actors and just people. He was a great man. So I think one of the canvases I'm going to do something for, to commemorate his legacy. So, but if you have any other ideas, let me know. Whether it's for paintings or for wallets or anything, really. You're gonna see me take that off again. I didn't like how it was centered. I was trying to get it as straight as possible. So I'm just ripping all these up. Decided to do the small ones first, because the big ones were curved, and curves are okay, but I like straight lines. These went on real easy. I was so glad about that. Except this one. This one gave me a little bit of problem, but I figured it out. So now I'm going to take that off carefully, and yeah, so it doesn't get caught by the paper. Bleh. And then I'm going to cut out these curves, which they weren't as bad as I was expecting. So that was good. And the next few days, I'm going to be doing more tutorials on some new things, so new wallets and other things, whatever strikes my fancy, really. But if you have a request of anything, a tutorial you would like, just let me know. That would help me, because I'm indecisive. So it helps me when someone says, hey, do this, and I'm like, okay, I can do that. So just putting these on, and this will be the end of it. Just a couple more seconds, and there we go. Alright, so that's the end of the time lapse. Here's our finished duct tape painting. I must admit I wasn't happy with it when I got the letters on. I might actually redo the letters, but those are some pretty decent letters, I must admit. But once I got the symbols on, it really just made the painting. I'm really happy with it. So if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. And if you have any requests for either a painting or a wallet or anything you would like to see, please leave it below and I will get it right on it. So thank you very much for watching.